Good morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a beautiful day. It's not like Scotland at all. And here's the Glanza. So, last night, heads off. We're starting to get somewhere now. Need to get everything ready for timing up, and we need to start pushing these valve springs into the head. Once the valve springs are in, give it all a good clean up, head gasket on, stick the head on, and then we can worry about timing later on. Alright guys, not actually sure if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm putting the collets in. So the collets are the pieces that basically hold the spring retainer onto the valve. They have these little sort of grooves in them, the little indentations that sit inside the actual valve itself. A wee tip is use a non-magnetic screwdriver, a little bit of grease on the back of it, feed it in through our homemade valve collet guide tool thing, and then shout and swear, because it's an absolute nightmare of a job to do. And some guy will probably comment saying he's got a tool for the job, but I'm not a mechanic, I'm just an electrician. So I've missed that one. This is just to show you typically how long it can take to do bloody one. Ages. Especially if they're going to be fussy like this. And we're nearly in there, so there you squeeze my fingers. And I think that'll be pretty much in place. So all I'll do now is release the spring slowly, make sure that the spring seats, remove the piece, and then as you can see there, the valve collet closes up on the taper, nips up onto the valve. I'll give you an example of what it looks like before we press it in. The spring goes in, then retainer. So this needs to be pushed down, and then the collets hold them in place. 3 done, 1,000,000 to go. Aye, how are we doing now? There we have it, cylinder head's on. I've not got the head bolts on yet. I just wanted to show you just a little tip. And one thing I will say actually, see these bloody things, these valve things and the springs and that, the collets, the retainers, absolute pain in the arse. I don't know if it's something to do with my valve compressor or what, but just such a fiddly job, it's a pain in the arse like. So it took me a good hour and a half, 2 hours to just put the springs in. So yeah, a little tip here anyway. So we have the head studs. We've gone for new head studs, and the old ones are up here still, but we'll put new ones in anyway. You could probably reuse, I'm actually not sure, I don't think you can reuse these, because they go past, you basically have 3 stages of torque, and then you've got a 90 degrees of pure rotation to get it to 1,000,000 UVs of torque. Basically, I'm using graphite paste, which is similar to the stuff they use for ARP bolts. I'll put a little bit in the thread and then a little bit on the washer just underneath this head here, so when it rests on the washer, just so we can get a right good torque on it, and it just yeah, makes the torquing a little bit more equal, and we'll go from there. I've got to remember to put this bloody starter motor back in before I put the inlet manifold back on, because that'll be a pain in the arse. Rightio. We've now got the bottom pulley on properly, right on its woodruff key, all timed up, absolutely perfect. And the cams are now in. Now, just before I run out of battery in the GoPro, we're pretty much done. Now we're going to go for a start and prime up the oil pump. So if you aye. So, after all this mess, all these tools, we have one completed top end rebuild. Now we have filled up the coolant, we have filled up some new oil, we have bled the oil system. What we've done with that is, normally I would take off an EGI fuse, but with this one we just pulled off the igniter plug and the fuel injector plugs, so fuel pressure was holding fine, no leaks there. We had a bit of a coolant leak when we were filling up the coolant and we missed the pipe off the back of the throttle body. Well, whenever you're ready, buddy, do you want to get a start? Right, here we go. Nice one. And there we are. We have it. She's alive. Oh yes.